Good evening and welcome to CYC News for the 21st of August 2016 and the 15th of Misra 17:32 a.m. I'm Angie Victor. In today's headlines, senior North Korean diplomat's defection is quoted as a unique situation. Trump's lawyer asks, says who when told Trump is losing. Emirates crash landing survivor scoops $1 million lottery jackpot 6 days later. UN says that ISIS captures up to 3,000 people fleeing violence in Iraq. A herd of cattle are rescued from Louisiana floodwaters. And Rio 2016 Olympics, Day 13 highlights. To some brief Coptic news. On Tuesday, August 16th, His Holiness Pope Tawadros II received Mr. Omar Ahmed Yusuf, the new Egyptian ambassador of Austria, in the papal headquarters in St. Mark's Cathedral in Cairo, before traveling to Austria, where he can take over his duties. His Holiness Pope Tawadros II expressed his wishes of luck to the ambassador. To other news, North Korea may send agents after a top diplomat who defected to South Korea recently, a defection expert told CNN. Liberty in North Korea Director of Research and Strategy, So-kil Park, said the defection of senior North Korean diplomat Tae Yong-ho was a unique situation and could lead to threats of retaliation from North Korea. Park said, "There's been those kind of things that happened in the past for very high-level defectors, assassination attempts and death threats. There will be protection from the South Korean authorities around this person, especially in the short term." It was announced on Wednesday that Tae had defected to South Korea, along with his family, the highest profile diplomatic defection in the country's history. Tae had been stationed in the United Kingdom, but chose to defect to South Korea. South Korean Unification Ministry spokesman Jeong Joo-hee said on Wednesday the diplomat left for the sake of his family and because he was tired of Kim Jong-un's regime. Over to the U.S. presidential elections, where one prominent Donald Trump supporter denied the additional campaign hires announced in the morning amounted to a shakeup and appeared unaware that the polls showed the Grand Old Party presidential nominee trailing in the race. When CNN's Brianna Keilar asked Michael Cohen, special counsel at the Trump Organization, about the shakeup, which reportedly sidelined Paul Manafort, the campaign chairman who had been heading up campaign leadership, Cohen blasted her word choice. "I've got to stop you for 1 second. There's no shakeup. Look at the words that you use, and you blast at the bottom in your banner," he said on CNN's Situation Room. "There are no desperate measures. The campaign is on its way to victory, and yet you still use these ridiculous words in order to incite something. Please understand that nobody is buying into it anymore." Well, as if surviving a crash landing on an airliner wasn't enough, a Dubai-based Indian man is celebrating a $1 million lottery win just days after that terrifying experience. Mohammad Bashir Abdul Khadar, aged 62, was on board Emirates flight EK521 en route from southern India when it skidded on the runway as it landed in Dubai and burst into flames. Despite the fact that the entire top half of the Boeing 777's fuselage was burnt off, only 13 passengers were injured, though a firefighter was killed responding to the emergency last Wednesday. Khadar's winning number in the Dubai duty-free Millennium Millionaire draw was drawn on Tuesday at Dubai International Airport, netting him 3.67 million dirhams, $1 million. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan appeared to give the United States an ultimatum, demanding the extradition of a cleric he believes is behind the failed July 15 coup attempt. Erdogan said the U.S. would eventually have to choose between its relationship with Turkey and Fethullah Gulen, a former Erdogan ally who has been in self-imposed exile in Pennsylvania since 1999. The state-run Anadolu news agency reported Wednesday. Sooner or later, the U.S. will make a choice, either Turkey or FETO, Erdogan said, in reference to the movement headed by Gulen. Turkey has requested Gulen's extradition, with a delegation of parliamentarians handing over dozens of boxes of documents to U.S. officials to support its case. President Obama has said that the cleric would only be extradited as a result of legal process, and if the extradition request is found to be justified according to the relevant laws and treaties. Gulen had repeatedly denied involvement in the coup attempt and rejected Turkish arrest warrants issued for him. Erdogan went on to say that the US was in a position to make a choice over the issue, Anadolu reported. "We sent 85 boxes of files," he said, adding that he assumed the US would not keep the cleric any longer, but send him back. CNN legal analyst Danny Cevallos said that extradition from the US is generally only granted pursuant to a treaty, one of which exists between the US and Turkey. But extradition requests are complex matters, typically complicated by unique and knotty treaties, multi-layer exceptions to rules, and nebulous definitions of extraditable crimes, he wrote. The result is that every extradition request becomes a case-by-case analysis, guided by the moment's prevailing international political winds. For the second time in a week, Israel has accused a humanitarian aid worker of assisting Hamas. Wahid al-Bursh, 38, from the Jabalia refugee camp in Gaza, is charged with using his position with the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, to assist Hamas, said the Shin Bet, Israel's internal security agency. Israel named al-Bursh in an indictment filed Monday in an Israeli district court, less than a week after charging another humanitarian aid worker with being a member of Hamas's military wing. Hamas is the militant fundamentalist Islamic organization that runs Gaza. Al-Bursh has been an engineer with UNDP since 2003, according to the Shin Bet, which said he helped Hamas build a military jetty in northern Gaza and prioritized the rebuilding of houses in areas primarily populated by members of Hamas. He was arrested on July 3. It's unclear if he has an attorney. ISIS militants have captured up to 3,000 people displaced from their homes, trying to flee conflict zones in northern Iraq, the United Nations said Friday, reportedly killing 12 of them, according to CNN. The UN Refugee Agency said it had received reports that ISIS rounded up the thousands of internally displaced people Thursday from villages as they tried to escape to the city of Kirkuk. Reportedly, 12 of the IDPs have been killed in captivity, the agency said in its daily Iraq update, using an acronym for Internally Displaced Persons. Over to Louisiana, where the floods have affected more than just the homes. Matthew Robert and Todd Dale had seen a lot in 5 days of rescuing people from floodwaters near Baton Rouge. Then came Wednesday, when they encountered something new, a pack of cowboys and about 50 head of cattle. It started when the two men went in together last month on a flat-bottomed frogging boat. That's not a typo. This is southern Louisiana, where frog legs are a common delicacy. They'd just finished outfitting it Friday when the storm began rolling in. Robert is from Darrow, Dale from Prairieville, and they both are fortunate to live on high ground. That didn't mean they were immune to the historic flooding that has swamped the region, damaging more than 40,000 homes. It's hard to sit and watch all that happens to your neighbors and friends and not do something about it, Dale, 44, said. Like so many other boats in the area, theirs became a rescue vessel. It's just the right thing to do, added Robert, 39. We knew it was going to be bad, but I think the severity of it caught some people off guard. More than 40,000 homes have at least some kind of damage from the flooding, Governor John Bell Edwards said on Tuesday. He asked for volunteers to help clean out mud from homes. The entire state of Louisiana has just 4.6 million people, less than the population of Metro Atlanta. About 6.9 trillion gallons of rain pummeled Louisiana between August 8 and 14, according to meteorologist Ryan Moll. That's enough to fill more than 10.4 million Olympic-sized swimming pools. The hardest hit part of the parish was Watson, where 31.39 inches fell between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. on Tuesday. Baton Rouge was pounded with more than 19 inches of rain during those same 15 hours. A Southern California wildfire is burning uncontrollably a day after it ignited, scorching more than 25,000 acres. The brush fire was 4% contained as of Wednesday evening, according to CAL FIRE spokesman Daniel Berland. Authorities have warned more than 82,000 residents in San Bernardino County to evacuate from the fast-moving fire that began on Tuesday. Some 34,500 homes are in the evacuation area. It's day 13 of Rio 2016, and there are 23 gold medals up for grabs across 11 events. Here are some of the day's highlights. The Superman Jamaican Usain Bolt won gold in the men's 200-meter final, beating his rivals with a time of 19.78 seconds. It's his third Olympic gold medal in the event, further reinforcing his status as one of the greatest athletes we've ever seen. He also won the gold for the 200-meter. Pandemonium erupted at the Copacabana beach when Brazil's men's beach volleyball team won gold. Argentina beat Belgium 4-2 to win gold in the men's hockey. China's Ren Qian became the youngest medal winner at Rio 2016 when she claimed gold in the women's 10-meter platform, and gold for the United States' Karen Clement in the 400-meter hurdles final. In other Rio Olympic news, the Australian Olympic Committee has banned its athletes from two of Rio's most popular beaches during the evenings after the armed robbery of Olympic medalist Ryan Lochte and 3 other U.S. swimmers. Lochte and fellow teammates Gunnar Bentz, Jack Conger, and Jimmy Feigen were heading home from a party Sunday night when robbers posed as police stopped their taxi and took their money. Lochte said one of the robbers put a gun to his forehead. All 4 swimmers are safe and cooperating with a police investigation. An International Olympic Committee spokesman initially said reports of the robbery were absolutely not true at a press conference Sunday. He then reversed himself and apologized, saying he was relying on initial information from the U.S. Olympic Committee that was wrong. Brazil's sports minister, Leonardo Picciani, appeared to be critical of the swimmers, saying they were outside their places of competition and outside the appropriate time. Responding to security concerns, the Australian Olympic Committee told its 422 athletes that Ipanema and Copacabana beaches, 2 of Rio's most popular tourist spots, are off-limits after 6 p.m. The actual beaches at night have been subject to increased criminal activity since the Games commenced, the Australian Committee's Mike Tancred said in a statement, adding that the adjacent boulevards were spared from the ban. Australian athletes were told not to wear their team uniforms and to tuck their accreditation inside their shirts when socializing during the evening. They must travel in groups of 3 or more and use a vehicle for any journey after 6 p.m., even for short distances, according to official guidance seen by CNN. Athletes have been reminded to inform someone of their whereabouts at all times. The instructions come as athletes start to enjoy themselves in Rio after the end of their competitions. And that's all for CYC News. A reminder you can watch this news bulletin again throughout the week on YouTube. I'm Angie Victor from the CYC studios in Sydney, Australia. Have a good night.